Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, Funtico Nauts, Degens, and gamers. Welcome to our first Funtico Community Game Night, one of many. Today we have a very special guest with us, our CCO, Doron Wesly, as well as a special guest and professional Web3 gamer, Slayer. We'll be taking a deep dive into basically, the stuff that we've been working on at Funtico for the past couple of months, the freshly deployed website, as well as the platform, all of the new gaming releases, the first tournament that we held. We're also going to look back on our NFT mint and a couple of other things. So with all of that in mind, please welcome our main guest, the man of the hour, Mr. Doron Wesly. Doron, could you please give everybody a brief introduction about yourself?
Hey, good afternoon. How are you, Sven? How are you, Slayer? It's so good to see you guys. Hello from New York City. It's such a fun way to start off this Thursday for me. It's still morning here on the 4th of July as we celebrate America's birthday. I'm looking forward to dig into it, Sven. Let's like break it down.
Awesome, cool. Before we get into it, I would please also like Mr. Slayer just to give a brief introduction of himself and his expertise within the Web3 gaming realm. So Slayer, please, just a couple of words from you as well.
Yes, yo guys, it's very nice to be here with Funtico. As you might know, I'm running my own channel, Slayer Web3, doing a lot for Web3 gaming, really enjoying the Web3 gaming space, playing all the games, keeping up. That's what I'm doing. I'm also doing a lot of stuff for Funtico. It's like completely different if you're a content creator or a builder. So I'm really enjoying my time by Funtico, and that's why I'm here today.
Awesome. Thank you, gentlemen. Now, with that out of the way, with the formalities out of the way, let me first create a little segue into, I guess, like our first topic of discussions, which is going to be the stuff that I, as the community manager at Funtico, I'm super excited about, which is going to be kind of the main building block for our successful grassroots community building here in Funtico. And that is, of course, the freshly deployed Funtico.com platform. So, release before we kind of like go into the nitty gritties of all of the functionalities and everything that our tech team has kind of like worked very hard on developing. Doron, could you please give everybody listening kind of like a quick rundown of why this deployment of Funtico.com and the platform is a huge milestone for us as a company?
It's amazing, Sven. First of all, again, thank you for having me here. And Slayer, you're awesome as a producer. I'm going to hire you anytime for any production value. If you think about the journey that the company has been through, for 2.5 years, the company has been building in stealth. We have made zero communication out there. We didn't go for any kind of fundraising. We didn't talk to friends and family about this. We literally just focused on development. We brought in the best and brightest minds from Poland and from the Ukraine and from the US and from the Netherlands. And we just said, let's build games. We didn't even have like a vision yet for the platform. We just said, let's build games, right? And we got the funding from two people who come from the world of gaming, which was really good because they gave us their perspective and their advice. And they gave us the piece to actually just build. And so Ellie hired these great people, build. Now, Ellie and I go back 26 years back to hotbar.com, so we know each other really well. He was telling me all about it. I saw the excitement in his eyes, saw the fire in his eyes. And he got like great people like Pavel to join and others to kind of, really come up with like these fun titles and these fun games. And then, which is really different than like every other platform in the space, in the Web3 space, we then said, okay, well, now let's build the platform around it and let's find the right blockchain to actually deploy it on. And so after doing extensive research, and because we've all been in the crypto space since 2016, 17, we were able to kind of, lay all of them next to each other. We said, what, we think that this is the right initial approach for us. And we selected the blockchain partner and we started to build the platform around it. And again, the platform idea was, it's nice to play a game. I mean, who doesn't like to play a game? I love playing games with my son. I still play retro 80 games. So that's kind of a nerd I am. But most of the games that we play, you play and you may have a pleasure of playing multiplayer, games, but it's not like you can do anything with the skins or the lives or the loot boxes you get or anything like that. It's really what you get out of it, right? I get a new weapon, I get a new, power up, whatever it is. And we said, can we take those elements and kind of create and connect it to the NFT world? Because just because I'm getting something in a game doesn't necessarily mean that I want to, by any means, keep it. I may want to share it with you, Sven. I may want to give it, or I may want to sell it, whatever I want to do with it, because I currently own it. And so we said, what if we bring those two worlds together, right? A game and the platform, enabling people to really take those elements and then share it, either giving it away or loaning it to somebody, renting it to somebody, or just selling it. And so we kind of braided this whole concept together of a platform, the marketplace. And so this year, specifically Q2, it was exciting because we did a couple of things simultaneously. Not only did we launch our demos of the first games, Formula Funtico, which is a Mario Kart style game, and not only did we launch, Heroes of the Citadel demo, which are two fun games. We also provided a preview to our AAA game EV2. So those were all just April. That was just April.
Okay.
And then we said, you know what, April is not enough. We said, Sen, let's take it one step further. Let's also do a grand prize tournament, because our philosophy, it's not like we invented games. We didn't. And we didn't invent any of these titles. We didn't. And we didn't invent even winning money for games, for skill-based games. That's been around for 40 years. What we did do is said, our philosophy is, instead of winning $100, $5, $10, whatever it is, which is very respectable, let's scratch that and let's go for big, ginormous prizes. And so right off the bat, we went with a $100,000 tournament. And you go, buff, $100,000. We said, yes, why not? Why not? Right? And so it's a skill-based game. You don't play against the house. It's just you against all the other players. Who has the best time? Lap time. And it really, that's all about just playing it. I mean, Slayer did himself 55 times. We saw him even recording it. And so we launched the games. We did then the tournament. And then we provided a full preview and access to the marketplace and the platform where people can actually spin the wheel and they can list their items and they can start looking at other people's items and they can buy NFTs. Oh, by the way, we did an NFT sale as well with a golden ticket to the tournament. So we built everything, and then we kind of presented it to the world, to the DJs and to the gamers and to everybody who really likes gaming and is a fan of Web3 gaming. So to us, coming out of the closet, right, and showing people really what we've done for 2.5 years, right, in Warsaw, in Lviv, in Amsterdam, and in New York, and in Las Vegas, because we have some people in Las Vegas, I think is just spectacular. So I'm very excited about the fact that the marketplace is launched. It's not all ready. Right? Let's be clear. There's nothing ever ready. And we still have a long way to go as we're continuing to, fine tune and launch additional aspects to the platform, because not all the functionality is available to everybody yet. But it shows that this is not just an idea on a piece of paper, which, by the way, that's how all great companies start. I'm not playing it down at all, but we actually have meat here, or vegan, if we want to say vegan. We have some fruit and vegetables here for you.
100%. And it actually drives me to the main point of, kind of like Funtico doing things its own way, rather than, kind of like going what should be the route that, projects should take getting into the space. Because as you said, we kind of we started out by delivering stuff, right? We shipped a lot of value before we even, considered doing some sort of public raise or token raise, or focusing on funds and stuff like that, which is usually the approach we've seen in 2021, with other crypto gaming projects that kind of just here's vaporware, give us money, and then hopefully we deliver something, right? Which, as we know, didn't end up the case for a lot of the projects that did raise in that period of time. So it's really refreshing, the kind of approach that we're having in the management along with you, which is kind of product focused first, and then basically worrying about how are we going to create a sustainable economy within this platform and the games that we're releasing. So kudos to you guys and the rest of the management team for kind of going in that direction, because again, it's very refreshing, and it's a super fun way to get into it. Now, before we move on to the next topic, Slayer, you being a Web3 gamer and kind of an expert and connoisseur of the crypto gaming space, could you kind of tell us a little bit, in bullet points, what made you so impressed with the freshly deployed platform that we have?
Yeah, so it basically is what you were just saying. 3 years ago, Web3 gaming started to become a thing. It started to become a hype, and you saw like very bad quality games coming out first. And now we move further. You see good projects popping out of the ground. Shrapnel. There are like all kind of good Web3 games coming out right now. But this counts also for the platforms, because there are a lot of platforms that released 3 years ago, and they promised a lot. They wanted a lot of money, but they didn't deliver, or didn't deliver yet. Well, Funtico, they actually came to me, and I was checking them out. Their socials were very low back then, and I was like, "Whoa, these guys are completely new. They have a lot already. Why is nobody talking about Funtico?" And that's when I started to do research, and yeah, I saw like a huge opportunity here as well, because this is a very new platform that has everything in place already, and nobody is talking about it yet. So that was exactly my point, why I was so excited about Funtico, and why I am excited about Funtico.
Awesome, 100%. Now, just to give everybody else listening a quick rundown based of the stuff Doron and Slayer already mentioned. So, as Doron mentioned already, the current Funtico.com version of the platform is in its alpha stage. So, like, it is in its infancy, and like some of the functionalities and features are yet to be rolled out. But even now, there's still a lot of stuff that, again, compared to other projects, is already a lot that users can kind of like play around with and mess around with. So, like, apart from the tournament, which we're going to get into right now, that Doron already mentioned, users have access to their backpack. They'll be able to access all of their digital assets that they've earned there. They'll be able to like take it to the marketplace if they feel so inclined. There's going to be loot packs, especially for, like specific quests and runs and stuff like that. And then we also have this super random, cool gamified feature of the Wheel of Fortune, which is going to also be implemented at a later stage, as well as the ability for users to earn experience points on the platform, which basically incentivizes them to spend more and more and more time as regular daily active users, and then in turn to be rewarded very handsomely for all of those efforts. So again, super exciting, super proud of the team for rolling everything out, and we have a lot more in store, especially with Q3 just heating up. Now, with that out of the way, Doron, let's kind of like jump back into the most exciting, I would say, like aspect of Funtico right now, and it's kind of like been the biggest highlight ever since we started publicly rolling out things, which is indeed the $100,000 Formula Funtico tournament. So could you kind of just give a quick rundown and brief of, what was the rationale behind going with such a huge prize pool and getting everybody excited about Formula Funtico, and also maybe just give us a quick explanation of, like what kind of game Formula Funtico is and how this implicated the tournament setup.
Well, I mean, how many of us, all of us, have played Nintendo? I mean, really, that's like two hands up, right? It was first Atari and Commodore 64, and then we went to like Nintendo and the Segas. And one of the games that all of us love is Mario Brothers. I mean, come on, it was like the most amazing thing ever. And when Mario Kart came out, it was like, it was racing to the next level. Again, remember, in the late 80s, early 90s, games were in a very different stage. And so we said, why not take a retro game that everybody loves? I mean, really, you don't have to be a boomer. You don't have to be a millennial. You don't have to be an Xer.
Timeless.
All of us, we all love that. And why don't we create like a souped up version of that with different racetracks and with like different power ups and even introduce some NFTs component to it, because we do love our NFTs. And we said, yes, let's create Formula Funtico. So we built Formula Funtico, Pavel and the team, Pavel and Pavel and Mike, and there's like, a whole group behind it. I think it's about 20 people that work just on that particular game alone. Which people often don't realize actually what an army takes to build a game. It does take an army. This is not like ChatGPT, let's code a game quickly. And we build it. We released the initial demo. And then we said, okay, well, what kind of prize money are we going to connect to it? So we thought about, the money, and, our founders, the people who put money behind it, said, let's go big or go home. And so we said out front that we will do multiple $100,000+ tournaments. And we said, let's do it. Mind you, $100,000 doesn't mean that one person gets $100,000. It means that like one person gets $50,000, which is still a lot of chunk of change. And then a whole bunch of others will get like follow-up prize money, right? with the prize distribution. Sometimes people forget that prize pool money, that's, there's more people attached to it.
100%.
And then we said, what if, how do we promote it? As Slayer said, we had 0 followers. When Slayer joined us, I mean, it was pathetic. Sven, we had like 800 people on Discord. We had like less than 1,500 people on X. We had like 0 Telegram people. We had no Telegram channel. There was nothing there because, again, we did nothing conventional. Typically, you go and do an ICO, you go to like events, you promote yourself, you get like followers, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, forget that. We were all the opposite. And Slayer actually was one of the people that actually helped us grow together with you, Sven, our socials, which we're so grateful for. So anyway, we said, okay, what can we do to do it? And Pavel had a brilliant idea. Again, I like to point to people who actually have brilliant ideas because nothing comes just from me at all, if anything, by any means. And so we went out to like incredible communities like Dokabi and Dokyo and Mars Cats and Steady and
Lazy Lions.
Lazy Lions. I mean, like, Solar King is obviously our like big winner right now in the current tournament. The guy's like, slashes everybody with the race. And so we went over to about 8 or 9 of these NFT communities who had a really successful NFT deployment. Some of them on Avalanche, not all of them. And we said, why don't we just like bring you guys in, and we allow you guys to buy NFT tickets or win tickets into the tournament, which we call a golden ticket, right? And then you can have, for each golden ticket you can have a try. You can have a try at this $100,000 prize money. And so all of these people started to promote amongst the community. They came, but in addition to make it more interesting, we said, okay, so we have this great racer. Why don't we like take a Lazy Line 2D NFT and create a 3D character for those people from that community? And the same thing with Chicken, and the same thing with Dokabi, and the same thing with Eats, blah, 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 blah. Woofy. Oh my God, it's like so many of them. And so each of them have their own character, right? Their NFT. And they can race in their own NFT, which is like crazy if you think about it. And so we married this crazy world of NFTs from 2021, right, which we all know from the COVID time. And then we took the Mario Kart from like the late 80s, early 90s. We smushed them together and we said, here we go, on a platter. And by the way, you can win some money. That's kind of the history of it. And the rest is history because we had like Blanco from Brazil kill it in 2 minutes and 31 seconds, which was like...
And you got a Pudgy Penguin out of it too, which is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Absolutely. And oh, by the way, the prize money, it's not like we just give like, here's some like dollars. And dollars is like old style thinking. We went for like high quality NFTs that actually are on the open market. We don't sell our own NFTs. Forget it. We went to like the big NFTs that are really doing well, that have a good floor price. And that was part of the prize. So they actually get like something that technically could be $200,000 or $300,000, depending on how the market goes. So obviously also a little bit less, but we believe in the positive aspect of our market. So that's kind of like the idea behind it. And by the way, I want you guys to know we're a very flat organization. When Sven, Nick, and myself work together, we work in a very flat organization. There's no idea that comes from the top. We build it together as a team.
Awesome. With that out of the way, Slayer, do you mind if I ask you also kind of like what your impressions of the tournament was with your experience like in the crypto gaming space, and also whether or not you actually might have taken a shot at the title?
Yeah, I tried. I'm not gonna lie, I tried, but I didn't. I think I ended up like 35, something around those levels. So it was not bad, but it was not amazing, right? But yeah, back then there was like a way to practice in the game, but not a real way. So they had the map, but it was reversed. So I was doing some practicing, and I had some decent scores. So then I started to try with the golden ticket, and one golden ticket is one entry. You can drive two rounds with one golden ticket. So that was I was doing. But yeah, I just couldn't compete with like the number one Blanco. Yeah. I think it was like more than a minute difference between his time and my time. The only thing I really didn't like was, the golden tickets were very hard to get. If there was like somehow a way to buy more tickets, I would probably spend a couple $100 to try to get to Blanco. But that proves that the model is working, because there's big fat prize waiting for you, and you can get golden tickets. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna buy tickets.
Exactly.
So yeah, for me it was a huge success, the tournament, and I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. Thank you for those inputs. Now, guys, moving on from Formula Fantico, considering the limited amount of time we have in today's show, I would maybe, Doron, like to mention, I guess, the second demo that we recently rolled out, which is Heroes of the Citadel. And if you could just give us a little bit of background on what that game is about and how it's going to incorporate into the Fantico ecosystem.
Sure. So we've got another game that you can right now play. And it's Heroes of the Citadel. It's actually quite interesting because, again, all of our games have been thought out with the premise of bringing in your characters into them, right? So you can actually play with them. So I envision eventually the ability for me to take my NFT that I own and scan it, right? It's a 2D NFT. I can create a 3D character and then bring it into play, and I'm the one who's playing it, which I think is like outrageously cool. But put that aside for a second. The idea there is that you're battling, right? You're battling other people. It's a kind of medieval environment. I think it's highly rich in graphics. It's a lot of fun. You can play other people against each other, and it's really something that I think will take another genre and bring it into our world. When we built our focus on the various games, and when Ellie and the team and Pavel kind of thought about like, okay, what games are we going to create, we said that there's like a place for people like high casual games, right? Super casual games like solitaire type and dual decks and all of that. So we've got those games. And then we said, okay, there's obviously a place and time for shooter games. So we have that, which is EV2. Okay. We have like our fun racing games, which is like Formula Funtico. And then we've got like our fighting games, right? And this is in this case, it's our Heroes of the Citadel. So instead of taking up a gun, you take up swords, you take up other weapons, and just have like fun, being yourself. And it's a skill-based game, so you have to have some skills, and start playing in that world. It's a very imaginative world. I would highly recommend all of you guys to just look at the demo just for fun. The visuals are fantastic. Even if you come to our website, it's all funtico.com. You can right away see the visuals. If you go to YouTube, you can get like a demo. If you go to Steam, you can actually download a version of it. So it kind of provides you guys with an ability to play with it. And I'm excited because that one will have, Grand Tournament attached to it as well.
Awesome, 100%. Now, with all of those things in mind that we already mentioned, kind of like the platform alpha being out, and all of these like different games that we're releasing, from Formula Fantico to the HOC demo. All of these things are definitely super exciting, and are catering directly to that gamer demographic. But there's also an element, I guess, to Funtico that is interesting, not only to the gamer demographic, but also kind of like the Web3 native user, or the crypto degen or speculator, or whatever we want to call them. And for them, it's also going to be very interesting learning more about the Tico token. Now, I know there's not a lot we can still say. There's not a lot that we can still publicly disclose. But you kind of, Doron, being a member of the executive team and, kind of like being the higher ups at the company, could you maybe just share a little bit of alpha for those thirsty legions that are waiting for when Tico and, just kind of like bumping their head against the wall, waiting for that claim and waiting for the ecosystem to actually go live?
Yes. So Tico is the token that's the reward token within the platform. It's a utility token that's very much focused on you have to pay to play, right? In order to enter the rooms, in order to enter tournaments, you have to pay. And then you can actually earn Ticos as you win your prize money, and you can use that for whatever you want within the platform. In addition to that, whatever power-ups and weapons and other aspects and skins you actually are winning along the way and gaining, you can then obviously sell them on the marketplace for Tico, right? You would get Tico for that, and you can reuse that as well. And we want to make sure that if you are seeing something that somebody else has, whether it's a multiplier effect or any of the other fun loot boxes that you can get to, you'll be able to buy them with Tico. So in essence, it's very similar to like Robux or V-Bucks that people use right now with Roblox and Fortnite. We very much believe in that. The nice thing is that it doesn't really prevent Web2 people, so regular people, that are coming in to actually play the game. You don't need to have a wallet. You don't need to understand much about the blockchain. You can just, pay with Apple Pay or Google Pay or, any of your credit cards that are attached to your phone. You can easily play and not necessarily worry about that. But the Tico has obviously a lot of potential. And then if somebody wants to take it out and exchange it for, USDT or cash, they can absolutely do that. We believe very strongly in the functionality of the Tico. It's a very important component of it. You can't really play the games without it. You can't really earn rewards without it. And so it has a very central function in it. And like you said, Sven, our goal is to have a token generation event very, very soon. We typically don't disclose the date specifically, but when I say soon, I mean very soon. Are you asking me if it's tomorrow? It's not tomorrow because right now it's July 4th, so we're not going to do it over the weekend of July 4th, but certainly it's going to be before the winter. I think that's a fair enough statement. And then obviously it will be listed so that people can see it. So we're very excited about it.
Got it. Awesome. For those who want to learn more about the Tico token, also make sure to check out our light paper that's available on the website, so you can get supplementary information on that topic as well. And just to give you a quick rundown, based on what Doron said, the Tico token, as previously mentioned, will be deployed on AVAX C chain. So keep that in mind, and also expected to eventually also be have cross-chain capabilities. So that's something to also look forward to, because that's basically going to unlock different communities and different sources of liquidity for the token as well. And it's going to be super nice and bullish going into the relatively near future. Now, guys, we're already 20 minutes in, so already close to our 30-minute mark. But let's say we're going to finish around 40. Please give me the extra 10 minutes of time just to go over some other things that I want to discuss with you guys. Now, with everything that we talked about, the platform, the games, and now finally the Tico token, Slayer, I would maybe like to get your input and expertise on, kind of how do you see the crypto gaming space hopefully heating up again, in the near future, and what are these releases that people should be looking at, and maybe like even what are the kind of projects that have the kind of ticks that Tico has, to basically like make their choice as profitable as possible, right?
Yes. So we have seen a mini bull run in gaming. I think it was back in December, and you basically saw all the projects that have been building during the bear market. You saw them like a nuclear going up, way up. It was like insane. But yeah, things I'm personally looking for in Web3 gaming are not like games with a token, more like infrastructure, game developer. So there's not like only one token for one game, but there's like way more going. So that's where I'm looking for. And yeah, I'm not sure how much in detail I can go, but I think the Tico can do very well. Once everything is released, they have a working product. I'm very bullish. So
legal disclaimer, not financial advice.
this is no financial advice. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Okay, yeah, and that kind of like brings me, I guess, to the final topic of discussion that I want to have with you guys. Kind of like the final segment, seeing, having the experience that all of us have, within the crypto space, like Doron, even like back from like 2017, you and me, Slayer, kind of like around that 2019, 2020 era, and all of that stuff. So like we've seen cycles come and go. And it's just something that I wanted to maybe like get your thoughts and opinions on. How do you currently perceive the current crypto landscape, and what do you think are kind of like the good things about it and the bad things about it? Because, from my perspective, the crypto landscape in 2024, obviously, as we all know, is kind of like hyper focused on memes and, like pure speculation and PvPing, and charts where basically like everybody's just trying to like gain an advantage, using different trading bots and like different strategies to kind of like suck up as much as value out of projects as possible. What are your thoughts on the current, kind of like crypto meme hyper gambling landscape that we're in? What do you think are like the cool things about it, or like if there are any pros at all to it? And if there aren't, why do you think the current landscape is negative? And like, what are the kind of things that you guys are looking forward to, coming like Q4, let's say? So I don't know who wants to go first. Doron, maybe you
first, if you don't mind, Slayer. I think that you have to understand where I'm coming from. And my perspective is I'm an incredibly positive person. I will always see a half glass like 3/4 full. Like that's how my view of the world is. And I can tell you that I've made some terrible, horrible mistakes when it comes to any crypto investments that you can think of. I sold Ethereum at a price point that, and if I would tell you, you would be crying because it was like at $80 when I sold it.
Wow.
And, at a time when, I knew that I should have just waited until Ethereum would turn around because I thought Ethereum would bottom out. I was sitting in Morocco with my wife, who now passed away, in Casablanca on a porch when Bitcoin hit almost 20,000 for the first time in 2018. So I remember the various points, inflection points, as it went up and then went all the way down to below $8,000 and then went back up. And, all I can tell you is, again, based on these gray hairs, and I'm 49 years old, so I'm an old fart next to you guys. All I can tell you is from my experience is that as much as people think that crypto is bullshit, as much as people say that it's not worth anything and it's not worth the hype and all the projects are not worth it, at the end of the day, over time, it's been like this, steady. Yes, there have been like dips, very big dips, and yes, it was painful, and all of us have lost money. I'm sure you guys have lost money, and it sucks ass to lose money because we all work very hard for it. But at the end of the day, it is like this. That is the fact of life. There are more people now who have wallets than there were yesterday. There are more people tomorrow that will have wallets than there are today. And if that's the case, and now with BlackRock and some other big financial firms having ETFs into the space, it adds liquidity, it adds demand. That's number one. Number two, I believe that there are many other companies like us who are actually building fundamental, real deal companies with real fundamental products and services. And so when you have real deal deals, right, with real products and services, and people have to use them, right, they have to use the T code in order to play the game, in order to win $100,000. To me, that shows that there is utility in what's happening out there. So I'm very, very bullish about that. Now, having said that, we still have a crazy world out there. And if you look at like just last week, Thursday, when there was a presidential debate between Biden and Trump, there were many meme coin created just overnight, just between the hours of 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. I believe there were hundreds of them created.
Thousands, yeah,
And so maybe thousands, I didn't even count. And so clearly there's a lot of speculation, a lot of fun with it, and you have to be able to discern that from the hype, from, the real business. So I'm very bullish on it. I'm not giving you any financial advice. I am not a financial advisor at all. Please read the fine print and consult your financial advisor at all times because your money is hard earned and you deserve to keep it. But I, for one, believe that a certain part of my investments are into this particular world, and I believe in it. That's about it. Slayer, on to you, man.
Yeah, so me and meme coins, I don't like it. I see it as a casino. I'm not a gambler, so I don't gamble. And meme coins is gambling. You can say whatever you say. Either you become millionaire or you go wrecked and you go to zero. So I don't have anything with it. I strongly believe in investing in fundamentals, so good projects. I try to find them very young, so when they're not launched yet or very low market cap. Which teams do I see the potential? Which teams have a product, and that's what matters for me, and that's where I'm willing to put my money in. Again, I'm talking as Slayer right now, so I'm talking very personally. So yeah, that's my vision about meme coins and the crypto market. And I think at the end we will see a bull run. Whenever it is, like next year or end of the year, we will see. But I believe it will come eventually, and the strong fundamental projects will win.
Awesome. So you guys basically shared the same sentiment that eventually, we will get a proper alt season, regardless of, what the current meta is, or like what this kind of like obsession over meme coins and this kind of like hyper gambling environment that we're currently in, right? Okay, awesome. Guys, that's pretty much checks off all of my boxes in terms of whatever. Go ahead, say.
I got 2 questions from people I want to ask to Doron.
Okay.
Or I see in the meantime we have 3. Number 1, when are you planning to release the other games on the platform? So right now we got
we're gonna have we have an exciting update that's going to come out on July 11th. We're releasing a mobile app version of one of our games. So I'm like so excited, and it's geared towards our Indian gamers from India. So that's coming up, and that's going to be a hyper casual game, which I think all of us are addicted to. So that's Solitaire Funtico that's coming up. Then we have another one that's coming up, which is Dual Deck, which we're excited about, and Bingo. So those are coming up. We have obviously Heroes of the Citadel that we spoke about. So I can tell you that it's going to be a very hot, sizzling summer for us as we're releasing titles along the way. It's not easy. A lot of bumps in the roads, and every night before we release something goes on fire. That's the nature of the beast when you work in the space. But we're working really hard, and the team is really excited to release these games. I believe that by September we would have already 5 live titles out, maybe even more. So it's exciting.
That's soon. That's very soon. 5 games very soon. That's the answer on the question. Doran, when is the next 100K tournament? I'm gonna destroy Blanco, is the guy asking or saying.
Better destroy Blanco. He's like a crazy guy. I don't have an answer for that yet. It's definitely going to be at some point this summer. But we'll make sure that follow our socials, and we'll make sure that you guys have advance notice to come in and enjoy another fun, packed, big reward tournament. Thank you for asking that.
One more question. Is there any way in which we could test Earth version 2 before launching, like beta testing?
Oh, wow. What a great question. We get that question, especially from Japan. Apparently, the Japanese are crazy about EV2. I don't have the answer to that. I know that the team is working on new renderings in the game and some aspects that have to be fine-tuned. I can tell you that EV2 is very much on the forefront of our mind. I know a lot of people are looking forward to the storyline, being able to navigate Earth in that particular way, and with the various suits. And we're working also on thinking about how would we integrate the various characters from NFTs in it. I'm hoping that we'll have an update for that soon. But the good news is that we're gonna have this weekly fun thing, and you'll have other people on. Sven is definitely is great at cajoling other team members in it, and so maybe we'll have Pavel and Pavel on, and they can shed some more light on that.
100%. Awesome. Okay, so do we have any questions left, or is that about it?
That's about it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So as mentioned, guys, you pretty much helped me check off all of the boxes that we needed to check off for this first edition of Funtico Community Night. So again, thank you for joining me. Thank you for spending the time. Thank you for answering all of the questions and just sharing your insights on some of the topics that we've discussed. Greatly appreciate it. With that out of the way, are there any closing remarks that you would maybe like to share with the community? Doron, maybe you?
Happy 4th of July, everybody. I hope everybody is with their family and friends, playing games, having fun, enjoy the summer, take some time off from the screens. Yes, I'm saying that as a person who is in front of a screen right now. Give each other a hug, be kind to one another, play board games. Board games are fun too, not just, digital games. My daughter and I love to play board games, Monopoly. She's very good at it. Come join our socials, be part of the community. Tell us what we can add to it, what we can improve. And we need you guys. This is all about building a community together. So join our Discord channel, join our X, follow us. Sven, thank you again for being such a great host. Thank you so much for making time for me and inviting me. And Slayer, it's always fun to slay with you, man.
For sure.
Awesome. Sure. Okay, guys, I think we can wrap it up here. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. There will be updated clips from the show as well, so do stay on the lookout for that. And as Rod mentioned, make sure to follow us on all of our socials. And do come check out all of the demos that we have currently available on the platform at Funtico.com. And do stay tuned for future tournaments, because we're going to be giving away even more crazier prizes than the last time. All right, guys. Have a great day, and looking forward to the next show. See ya.
Yes.